When it comes to starting this video, there are only two words I can say, and that is thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Technically there's more than two, but you get my point. Hello friends, happy Friday. It is the day that you guys find out the results of the shoujo event that's been going on this whole month. It was actually really awkward this morning when I got up. I was like, oh, I need to go see who voted. And I'm like, it's over. Like, feeling a little bit sad that it's over, to be honest. I mean, I know I have to read the manga and everything, and I'll do a wrap-up video much later on, but still, knowing that the voting has concluded is really, really odd. But again, a huge thank you to each and every single person that voted. There were over 50 votes for each round, which was mind-blowing to me, so surreal. So thank you guys so incredibly much. The voting was so chaotic. Like, I feel like the further we went in the rounds, the more chaotic it was. In fact, I had to quickly close the form last night before filming this video because there has been a tie in the third round for the longest. There were 3 ties going on for like third place and then first and second, and then finally somebody broke it. I'm like, we're closing it out right now. Like, we have to stop because it was just nice not to have a tie because I didn't know what I was going to do. It came down to the point even that there was a 3-way tie for first place. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So anyway, we'll talk more about that here soon. But again, thank you guys so much for making this event a joy to host and do. I'm very excited to read the manga that I picked, that won. I didn't pick it, you guys picked it. So again, thank you. And I definitely want to do this again next year because it was just so much fun. Anyway, the event is not over yet. I figured you guys are probably pretty eager to know who won the giveaway. As a refresher, the giveaway included 3 different prizes. The grand prize winner was going to receive a Shoujo Manga starter pack that include volumes 1 and 2 of In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, volume 1 of Cinderella Closet, and volume 1 of Gap Papa. 2 runner-up winners were going to receive a Azuki premium membership for 30 days. I'm so excited for the winner. There was so many of you guys, and again, thank you so much for voting and commenting. The grand prize winner is Jessie578. Congratulations, you won the Shoujo Manga starter, Shoujo and Josei Manga starter pack. The 2 runner-up winners, the first one was Sari Mori, congrats to you, and our second runner-up was Nutmeg1993, congrats to you as well. I will be getting a hold of you guys. I will comment on your comment. That sounds weird to say it that way, but be sure to respond to that via email, and you're welcome to email me after watching this video as well. Thank you guys again for everyone who entered. Do not worry, there will be more giveaways in the future. I'm definitely doing a very big one for the 25 days of shoujo manga up in December. All right guys, are you guys ready to find out the results? So what I'm gonna do is try and talk about each round and what was going on at that time. I hope I can do well for the first and second round. I know next time to write down notes because we had a lot going on. My kids were really sick. We even had to go to the outpatient hospital to get x-rays, and that was very chaotic. Felt that was a rough week. I would say it was a very rough week. So I'm hoping I remember everything. I will say what my predictions were, I guess, when we get to the third and final round, but let's talk about round 1. I have my computer here so I can see and make sure I'm talking about everything right. So there were a total of 28 volumes that were up for voting. These manga were chosen from the recommendations that you guys gave last year during the 25 days of shoujo manga. During the giveaway, I asked you to recommend a manga to me and I would try and check it out. I know I have checked out a few of those. There was definitely more than 28 recommendations that I received, but I tried to do manga titles that I could easily get my hands on, either because I own the series, because my library had it, or I could read it, say, somewhere like on the Azuki app. So these were the 28 that were chosen, and I guess I'll just go ahead and say my predictions now and then I'll rehash later. But my first prediction was Snow with the Red Hair because I've gotten so many recommendations for Snow with the Red Hair. I then said Queen's Quality because of the Twitter community, but I was also low-key sort of saying Skip Beat as well. If they would rally together, like the community on Twitter and just those fans would rally together and one of those would win. And then I also said Perfect World because I was really surprised how many people were like, Perfect World, better win. So those are my three, I guess, four predictions of what I thought would win. I did feel Nana was going to do really well in this first round because I know Nana is very well loved from many. I don't know a lot of people who have personally read it, but I was expecting Nana to do very well. But here was the thing, only 16 could move on. So in this next slide that I'm going to show, the ones that are faded are the ones that did not make it to the next round. And these are the ones that did not make it. Like I said, if they're faded, they did not make it to the next round. If they are, not faded, they are the ones going on to round 2. I could not get all of these on a bar graph, which I'm about to show in just a minute. So I wanted to show it this way so it was easier. Some of these were really close in going to the next round. Like I Fell in Love After School had 10 votes. And if it just would have had 1 to 2 more, it would have made it to round 2. I was actually surprised how many votes that got because I don't really know many who have read that series or anything. I was very shocked that Otomen did not very well. I believe Otomen only had like 5 votes, I believe. Yes, Otomen only had 5 votes. And I was really surprised because I thought that that series had more love, I guess you would say. And I know just because it didn't get a lot of votes in this event doesn't mean that people don't love it. I definitely get that. But I really thought that that would be an older manga that would make it to the next round. So I was very surprised it did not. I will admit I was hoping Ron the Peerless Beauty would make it onto the next round. But some of these, outside of like Kaiju Girl Criminalized, I was not surprised they did not make it to the second round, only because quite a few of these that didn't make it were digital only titles. And I feel like in general, digital doesn't do quite as well as physical, at least when, maybe not sales wise, because I have no idea, but I feel like in the community when we talk more about manga that has been physically released. I don't know many people who have read voiceover as well as the Beauty and the Beast one. Let's look at the votes here. This is only the titles that we're moving on because when I added all of them, it didn't show all of the titles. And I was like, nope, we can't do that. So as you can see, Snow with the Red Hair, it totally trailblazed in this first round, which I was not surprised. I mean, it was winning in first place by a good 10 votes. And I was expecting that. However, My Happy Marriage, I was not expecting that. I really didn't think My Happy Marriage would do very well. I wasn't expecting it to get a lot of votes. And I think that's because it's a new series, but also I didn't realize that I think somebody was doing a countdown. There's only like roughly 40 more days till the anime premieres on Netflix. And I'm like, okay, that played a really large role. I was very happy to see that Skip Beat was in the top 3 with most votes. I was unprepared for that because, I don't know if I said it, but I don't know many people who have read Skip Beat. Mainly the people I know who have read it and really love it are a lot of people on Twitter. When it comes to Instagram, I only know maybe 1 or 2 people, and I wouldn't say I'm friends. It's more like I follow them and they promote it on their feed. Nana, as expected, did really well, which I did expect that. Library Wars, that was another big surprise for me. I love Library Wars. I mean, this is the manga that got me into reading manga. So I was caught off guard that it was like in the top 5. But I was really, really happy about that because I've been meaning to reread this series for such a long time. And then I was surprised that Daytime Shooting Star had quite a few votes. I didn't expect that one to make it onto the second round. I was a little bit nervous about that one, not gonna lie. Everybody says I need to give it a second chance, that it's really good. It's just the teacher aspect in the beginning was really, really hard, even though I actually really love the male lead. He is amazing. He is one of the best boys in shoujo manga. I really, really liked him. So these are the results for the first round, how everything played out and how it looks. For round 2, I'm just gonna say that these results were chaotic. As you can see, My Happy Marriage won first place, Perfect World for second place, and then A Condition Called Love for third in the most votes. And I was shocked because none of the top 3, well, except for My Happy Marriage, yes, except for My Happy Marriage, none of the manga titles that were in the top 3 most votes were in the second round except for My Happy Marriage. And I was completely shocked by that. I did not expect Perfect World and A Condition Called Love. I was like, what an upset from the previous round. I mean, Snow with the Red Hair did fairly well, came in, it looks like, with 19 votes or 18 votes. It was up there and it was a really close one, but still to know that especially Snow with the Red Hair that was trailblazing in the first round to not be in those top 3 very much surprised me. Was very excited to see Skip Beat doing so well, and I was also very shocked by Queen's Quality, how many votes it got, because it was barely slipping into the first round, but in the second round, it was doing really well, in the top 5. I was a little bit sad for Cardcaptor Sakura. I thought it would do a little bit better, but as you can see, it got the least amount of votes during the second round. I know a friend of mine was really bummed about that. And then I was also surprised that when it came to Kitchen Princess, how well Kitchen Princess did. I don't think I mentioned it in the previous round, but Kitchen Princess did really well and was up in the top 10. And so I was really surprised to see so much love for that series. I am meant to read it a long time ago. In fact, it was one of the first recommendations I ever received alongside Library Wars, so I do feel like that is one I definitely at some point need to read. I know my library has all of it, not my local library, but I do know I can get my hands on it to read it. Nana, I was surprised that dropped down. I keep saying the word surprise. I do apologize, but there was so many surprises during this voting that I just really was not prepared to see unfold. But here are the results of the manga titles that are moving on, because for this one, it was the top 8 that got the most votes. So as you can see, Cardcaptor Sakura, Nana, Bibliophile Princess, Lovely Complex unfortunately didn't make it. I was expecting that one to possibly make it all the way to round 3. Kitchen Princess, Oran High School Host Club. I still want to read that at some point, even though it's not making it to the 3rd round, because it just seems really, really interesting. And My Little Monster, I am sure I will read at some point because my library has all the copies of that one, or all the volumes, I mean. The chaos does not stop there, because you guys ready to see the results of round 3. Here are the results. Oh my goodness. As you can see, Queen's Quality took the win. If there was ever a quote-unquote upset that I expected, it was not Queen's Quality. In fact, Queen's Quality was not in first place for quite some time. And interestingly enough, Snow White with the Red Hair had some of the least amount of votes. We'll say the first 3 days that the forum had opened, it was not trailblazing. It was the complete opposite. It had the least amount of votes, and I was so shocked. And last night, let me just say, it was pretty strong for a long time actually, that My Happy Marriage had first, A Condition Called Love had second, and Queen's Quality had 3rd place. That was pretty much the rankings for almost the entirety of this poll, right? Or this forum. And then 2 days ago, it just went crazy. Snow White with the Red Hair got a lot more votes. Perfect World, if it just would have had 1 more vote, it would have tied for 3rd place. I really thought Perfect World was gonna take 3rd place, and I even told, I think it was my husband, I'm like, it would be an upset if Perfect World beats out Snow White with the Red Hair, just because Snow White with the Red Hair I felt like was a automatic winner. I had already planned for it. I was bummed that Skip Beat didn't quite win, but I want to say, well, I'll say it in just a minute, but I will say out of any of these that got the most votes from last night, it was Skip Beat. Skip Beat jumped up super high. There were 7 votes within a few hours when I had promoted it one last time on all my social media, and I was like, wow. I'm still surprised how well Fiancé of the Wizard did, even in this 3rd round. I know it has the least amount of votes, but I was not anticipating for it to do so well. I thought it was going to have 10 or less, to be honest. I mean, that's nothing against Fiancé of the Wizard, but obviously that is a very well-loved series. For it to have over 10 votes, probably about 16. Library Wars was so close. It was fighting for 3rd place there for a little bit, but Queen's Quality just went and took it home. And just shout out to all the Queen Quality fans, because I didn't expect that it would actually win. I didn't think it would really make it, but obviously this voting shows that it did, and it's very, very exciting. Still very shocked about My Happy Marriage. I never would have guessed at all that My Happy Marriage would make it in the top 3, and before whoever those last 2 people voted for Queen's Quality, My Happy Marriage was in first place the entire time. So that was, I feel like, a little bit of an upset in that regard. So ultimately, the 3 series that I am going to be reading and reviewing on this channel is Queen's Quality, My Happy Marriage, and Snow White with the Red Hair. I do have all of them, thankfully, except for volume 1 of QQ Sweeper, which I will be reading. That is a required reading if you want to read Queen's Quality, and my library has volume 1. I don't have Queen's Quality volume 2. Just put that on hold yesterday at my library, so those should be coming in within, hopefully, the next week. Now, I do want to say something. If you're like, this is great, I'm so happy for all the shoujo manga that won, but I really wanted certain titles to win, I am going going to make a goal of this year, I'm not going to say this summer, but this year, that I am going to read the top 8 most voted manga. Not in any certain order, but like I felt very confident in round 1 that Skip Beat was going to win. I had went to, or like on my library's website, I went ahead and checked out or put a hold in for the first 23 volumes that was, because I had 2 other titles on hold. I just got them in my possession, I think 2 days ago, and I put a hold in for the rest of the series. I don't think the latest volume, I think it's 47 and 48, my library doesn't have, but they have, I know, at least up to volume 46, 45. So I do want to commit to reading Skip Beat, because I told somebody on Twitter that I was like, that is one of my goals for this summer, is to actually read Skip Beat, because obviously there is a lot of love for this series. Even if I don't personally know many people, I want to get in on this hype and see what it's about, see why many people voted for it and why they love it. Obviously, our first titles that are going to be coming up is going to be Queen's Quality, My Happy Marriage, and Snow with the Red Hair. I don't know which one I'm going to read first. Currently finishing up Villains Are Destined to Die, Volume 3, which is so good. I love that manhwa so much. Penelope slays. She's so incredible. I've got to finish up that manhwa, and then I'm going to let my mood decide which of these I want to read first. What's going to happen next is next Friday, I'm going to do my reading wrap up for this last month. And then after that, I am hoping that for the next 3 Fridays after my reading wrap up to have a review of each of these. So that wraps up all of the results. I hope you enjoyed hearing how the voting went. Again, next time I'm going to write notes so I can say things rather than just how shocked I am, even though again, that really represents how I felt for majority of this voting. But again, thank you guys so much for voting. Please let me know if you enjoyed it. Which manga titles were you hoping to win? Did your favorites win? Which of these series are you looking forward to me reading first and reviewing? I hope that you come back next month to see all my thoughts on these. And again, congrats to the giveaway winners. Just so thankful that you guys voted and participated. It was so much fun, and I can't wait till next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!